Hi, this is Mark Kemper with EMS, and in this video, we're going to go through the complete Creaform 3D scanner lineup. All right, to get started, what we're going to do in this video is we're just going to walk through and talk about all the different model 3D scanners from Creaform here in early 2026. And for all of these scanners, in the description below, we'll have links to in-depth demo videos on all of these scanners. So if you really want to see how each one works and all the benefits of each one, go check out those links. That's not the point of this video. This video is just a quick highlight or overview of all of these different technologies. Now, for any one of these, if you're interested in an on-site or virtual demo, you can reach out to EMS and give us a call at 877-845-2700, or you can shoot us an email at info@ems3d.com. All right, so let's walk through everything here on the table. Let's start with this. This is the Peel 3 3D scanner. And this is a great scanner for somebody who maybe is just starting to get into 3D scanning. Maybe they've already bought a scanner off the internet on one of these sites and that hasn't really worked out for them because you don't really get any support, you don't really get any software to build CAD, you're kind of struggling, there's no training, those kind of things, and you really want a better experience. That's where this comes in. So it's still at a great price, can be competitive with those other scanners. But with this, you're buying it from a company like EMS, where you can get training, you can get support, you can get help when you need it, those kind of things. Not some AI chatbot somewhere or trying to figure out something on a user group or something like that. You're going to call us, you're going to talk to us, we're going to answer your questions. And the other thing with this scanner is you get really good reverse engineering software. You can get the Peel CAD to Scan to CAD Pro software. And that's legitimate reverse engineering software. So you don't have to go out and buy some other product and learn that and mess around with this free software here and then this, there, and that. You're going to get really good scan software to clean up, put your scan data in the coordinate system, and then you can go into the scan to CAD and build sketches and features and real geometry and surfaces and solids, and then take that on into a CNC machine, a 3D printer, into a CAD system to do assemblies and drawings and all that. So it's a complete turnkey system for you with this Peel. Now this scanner is structured light. It scans also in color if you want. It can work without targets or with targets. So it's got different tracking methods. And it's just a great place to start if maybe you're trying to get a little more serious about 3D scanning, but you don't want to spend a ton of money. Maybe it's still you're still kind of at that prosumer level, or maybe you're just scanning as something you're going to do once in a while. This may be a place to start, and that's the Peel 3 3D scanner. All right, next let's look at the new HandySCAN Pro. Now this just came out not too long ago, and we were really impressed with this scanner. So it's got the same form function as the Peel. It's got an LCD screen on the back. It's got a nice handle, lightweight, easy to use. Just really nice. But we were really blown away with how fast the scanner was and how well it did on dark and shiny parts. Now this is a laser-based type system versus the structured light, so they generally do better on dark and shiny. But we were able to scan machined aluminum and other surfaces with this new scanner with no problems at all. So very, very nice in that sense. So this scanner is probably for somebody really looking to step their game up a little more. They want better speed. They want better detail, the ability to scan dark and shiny, as I mentioned. Aftermarket, maybe automotive performance products, machine shops, fabricators. Anybody doing primarily design work. So the Peel system, this system, and a couple others are really meant for reverse engineering and design, or space claim, where you're scanning an area and then you're designing something to fit into it. And we'll get into more on the inspection side here in a minute. But this is a great scanner, still at a good price point, and includes that HandySCAN Pro software. So once again, you can scan something, clean it up, do multiple scans, merge them together, put it in a coordinate system, and then start building CAD, sketches, solids, surfaces, whatever, all in the same environment. So you're not trying to learn, different software products to make this all work. You can do it all in the Creaform environment, and really good software. Even has the ability to transfer into CAD systems natively. So it'll bring the history tree in with all the sketches and planes and all the features right into the CAD system. And then you can take it from there. So if you're looking to kind of up your game, get into a more serious professional scanner, and again, get good support, good training, this is going to be a great scanner for you. And again, that's the HandySCAN Pro. All right, next up we have the HandySCAN Spark. Now this scanner's been out for a little bit, but still a great scanner. This is really good for people doing art, sculpture, historical preservation, maybe industrial design, things like that. So similar to the Peel, it's structured light. It can scan color. It's fast. It's got a little bit, I tell people it's the big brother to the Peel. It's got a little bigger scanning volume, a little better detail, but really nice. You can use it with targets or without. So if it's not using targets, it's using geometry. You can add targets if you need them. It can also track its position using texture. So you got a lot of options there. So if you're trying to have something pretty easy to use, again, for kind of more of that, art type sculpture, architectural moldings, that kind of stuff, this is going to be a great scanner, easy to use. Don't have to target everything, either minimal targets or no targets depending on the geometry. But again, this is a nice scanner for certain people in certain applications. That's the HandySCAN Spark. Now, one other thing I want to point out with all of these scanners is they're all manufactured in North America. The hardware, the software, everything. The service, the support, everything you're going to get is North American. And for a lot of people, that's important, maybe for the type of work they do. If you're getting into military, DoD work, some aerospace work, a lot of government work, and there's new regulations, CMMC and DFARS and other things, that's going to be important to you, is where this stuff is manufactured, where the software is hosted, things like that. Also, Creaform is part of the Amatec group. Amatec is a company in the United States, big public company, so you've got a lot of backing there. They're going to be around, things like that. So, if those kind of things are important to you, you want to know where your data is being hosted, you want to know who's looking at your data, things like that, you want data security and integrity, Creaform has got you covered there. Like I said, everything manufactured in North America, owned by an American company. All right, next up is the HandySCAN Black Elite. Now, this scanner, when it came out, really changed everything. This was really the first metrology-grade handheld 3D scanner on the market. When this came out, it changed everything and really helped kick off the handheld market. And the reason being is this scanner was fast, it was accurate, and one of the key things is the ISO certifications that came with it. So Creaform is a ISO 17025 accredited lab, and they did their accuracy tests to this VDI VDE standard, which all the other scanner manufacturers were using, and we had some very legit accuracy numbers. Now, we've got a really good video that talks about accuracy. I'll put a link to it below, because everybody likes to spout these accuracy numbers. But if they aren't if they're not an ISO accredited lab and they haven't measured it to an accredited standard test, then whatever numbers they put out there, in my opinion, are worthless, okay? If you don't show what accredited standard test you've used, show exactly how you measured things, what you measured, how far apart they were, then your number is just made up. I mean, it just doesn't matter. People use this up to and all this other nonsense. You want a scanner with ISO accreditation or the VDI, VDE, things like that. You want that because that's legit. That's what are the industry standards, and that's what people look at. Now, we'll talk more about that in a second when you start getting into larger parts, but that was the critical thing with this scanner. So this scanner is still around. It's going to be at a great price, and there's going to be two models. You're going to have the standard Black Elite and then the Black Plus Elite, which came out not too long ago. That was kind of the next step. So this has always been available, and now it's at an even better price than ever. And then the Black Plus. The difference between the Plus and this, the Plus has 30 laser lines and 2 scanning volumes. This has 22 laser lines, okay? And also the Black Plus can come with the Acu Plus kit. I'll talk about that in a minute. So now you've got a couple options there, and with some newer scanners out, the Black series is at a great price. So if you need to get into inspection as well as maybe reverse engineering or only inspection, this is going to be an option for you. All these others, not saying you can't do inspection with them, but there's no ISO certification, there's no measurement to standard tests. Still good, still accurate, but if you're doing legit metrology, you've got to have those acceptance tests, you've got to have those numbers, okay? So that's the Black series. Now I mentioned scale bars. Scale bars with the Black Plus and some of these other scanners will increase or decrease your inaccuracy, however, increase your accuracy over distance. So it's an option you can get with some of these scanners. It's basically larger scale bars to hold a tighter accuracy over distance. Because when you look at accuracy statements, they're generally in a certain size, and as you start moving away from that, you start stacking up that error. So by using a larger artifact or calibration bar, you can hold better tolerance over distance. So the Black Plus and some of these other scanners will take advantage of those scale bars. So because you got to kind of look at what size parts you're scanning and all that. So that's the Black series. Great pricing and a couple different models for you.
All right, before we go on to the next 3D scanner, I just wanted to show this. This is a chart we put together of all the scanners and some of the key specifications for each one. Now, specs in and of themselves don't tell the whole story. Just because a scanner has good specs doesn't mean it scans well, doesn't mean it has good software, doesn't mean the quality of the scan isn't good. But it is important to be able to look through the specs and determine what may be the right scanner for you. So if you want a copy of this, we'll keep it updated. Just send us an email at info@ems3d.com. And this is a nice way to be able to look across the entire product lineup, look at some of the specs that may be important to you.
All right, next up is the new HandySCAN series flagship, at least for smaller parts, and that is this new EVO. So the new HandySCAN EVO, it comes in a EVO Elite and an EVO Elite Limited. And this new scanner has 46 laser lines, has an LCD screen on the back. This allows you to see what you're scanning, zoom in, zoom out. It's got even higher accuracy. It's got some additional accuracy testing to ISO 10360 Part 8. And if you go watch the in-depth demo video, you'll learn more about that. It also works with the scale bars. It has 2 volumes. It's got a built-in camera system for documentation, a laser pointer to do some really neat things. So again, the new flagship from Creaform, really, really nice, really powerful. You can get it with a mobility kit, so you don't have to be tethered to a PC, running off battery and Wi-Fi, so that's going to be a nice option for people. Uses the scale bars, as I mentioned, and the 2 volumes. So this is the new HandySCAN EVO 3D scanner, and it's a really, really nice upgrade to the HandySCAN series. All right, moving along is the HandySCAN MAX. Now, you can see physically it's a little different than all the other scanners, and that is it's bigger, and that is because it's meant to scan larger items. Now, this comes in two different models, the standard MAX, which has the medium volume, and then the MAX Elite, which has a small, medium, and large volume. So if you kind of wanted one scanner to really cover a gambit of part sizes, the Elite model might be a great way to go. Or you get the MAX, the standard model, if maybe you've already got a handheld scanner to do smaller stuff. So this will do parts up to a recommended size of 50 feet. So now we're getting into big stuff, but this is still ISO certified, has those scale bars with it, and we can do very good accuracy over distance. We've done some of our own testing, and we're really impressed with it, and it's still very portable. Compared to some of the other equipment we've used to do large objects, This thing is much easier to go out in the field, much faster to set up and scan. The targets can be much farther apart depending on what mode you're in. But if you're doing more large parts, this might be a nice option for you. It's got a mount on the back so you can mount your phone and kind of see what you're doing and so forth. So this is the HandySCAN MAX, really meant for kind of medium to large parts. Not to say you couldn't do it with small parts, but really that medium to large format parts. This is what the HandySCAN MAX is really meant for. All right, and the last one here is the MetraSCAN. Now the MetraSCAN is fundamentally different than most of these scanners. As you see, it's got targets on the scanner. Inside here is basically it's almost like a shrunken HandySCAN and targets all the way around it. That's because there's a separate camera system that tracks where this thing is in space and allows you to scan. And you can use no targets whatsoever when you scan, or you can put a handful of targets on the part itself, and that camera system will track the head, the scan head, separately from the part because they're different size targets. So even if the part was moving or jiggling or you want to move around the part, you can do that and continue to scan. You don't lose any accuracy. Your data's all perfectly lined up. It's really, really nice. So that's the MetraSCAN, and you can also do probing with it. So the advantage of probing is getting down in deep holes or hidden features or things like that, small holes where you can get the center point. That's where probing is good. So this is really meant for kind of shop floor metrology of kind of medium to larger parts is really what it's meant for. It's very good at that. So if you were doing like turbine machinery or automotive car parts or maybe an entire automotive assembly, that's what this is going to be great for. Not as portable as obviously a lot of these others because you've got that camera system and things like that, but still a great system. Of course, also ISO certified, works with those scale bars. So it's just a great, great system for kind of more of that shop floor metrology. All right, and one last option for you is pre-owned scanners, okay? So a lot of our customers will trade in and maybe upgrade to the new EVO or the new MAX or whatever it may be, and we'll take their old scanners in on trade. So here's a HandySCAN 700 we recently took in on trade. Still a great scanner. You can get this at a great price, and you can get a maintenance contract with it. You can get training, so you'll get the software upgrades. We're going to go through and make sure it works. We can get it recalibrated for you from the factory. So if you want to maybe save some money, any one of these we may have in a used unit. We check them out. We stand behind them. We'll make sure they work for you. So, used can be a great option too because, these scanners, most of these have no moving parts. There's no reason they won't last for years and years and years. This scanner's been out for 10 plus years, still a great scanner. I mean, we still have a ton of people using the scanner, still supported, so you don't have to worry if anything goes wrong. Also from Creaform, you can get accident insurance on all of these. So beyond the normal warranty stuff, if you drop it and break it, you can have it covered with accident insurance. So that's another advantage of being on a warranty. So, if you're interested in maybe something pre-owned, of course, that changes all the time. Just reach out to us and we'll see what maybe we have in stock or maybe what we know is coming in on trade. With having such a broad lineup of scanners now and Creaform, coming out with new tech all the time, it's a great opportunity for us to, give a scanner a new home. All right, so this wraps up the video on the new 3D scanners for 2026 from Creaform. As I mentioned, there'll be links below to all of these scanners for in-depth demo videos, the accuracy test I mentioned, things like that. I'll put our email in there if you want the spreadsheet of all the specs so you can at least look at them side by side. Happy to share that with you. And if you want a demo on any of these scanners, whether it's in person or virtually, again, you can reach out to us at 877-845-2700 or send us an email at info@ems3d.com.